Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, let's just dive on in and let's start off with a few things. So one, we know that November is going to be a big month outside of, crypto for the traditional system to really kind of innovate with DLT, blockchain, and even crypto solutions. We also know that a lot of things are taking place within the global financial realm of finance. And November is pretty much a spotlighted month now. Beyond that, we also have yet again another great event to look forward to, Ripple Swell. So every single year I say that Ripple Swell is probably the best thing to look at if you are an XRP holder or even a holder of crypto in general, because this is an event that truly is bringing together a ton of incredible individuals from, the crypto world, the traditional financial world, even regulatory side of things as well. This is a big event. Everyone needs to pay attention to this because even last year we've seen a huge swell event take place in the UK, for an example. And we know that a lot of these Ripple Swell events are centered out in areas that want to become crypto hubs now. One thing that I said back in, I want to say the summertime, is that the race is on. And I said that multiple times this year because this year has been a spotlighted year for tokenization. It's been a spotlighted year for institutions to really kind of have their crypto solutions infrastructure in place. But also beyond that, this has been the year of the great crypto race. A lot of these countries are preparing. A lot of them are getting ready to adopt crypto and innovate with crypto. And I think that these events really kind of give us a great in-depth view on their plans behind this and what they are doing to prepare. Now, like I said, we already went over this quite a bit of times or in the past as well, but there's 600 plus attendees, there's 80 plus speakers, there's 40 plus countries represented. Like I said, I already went over this information, but the agenda changed a little bit. We got a little bit of an in-depth view now on what's actually happening here. So first and foremost, regulations. So we actually see here that the Chief Executive Officer of the DIFC Authority will discuss how the UAE is at the forefront of cutting-edge technology and the vital role the DIFC is playing in the advancement of Web3 to drive the future of finance. We know that the future of finance is now really kind of centered around crypto and blockchain solutions. We also know that a tokenized economy is on its way, and Medico is at the forefront of custody services for that tokenized economy. Beyond this, we also have a few other major speaking events. We have In the Eye of the Tornado, Emerging Digital Asset Financial Crimes, Compliance and Sanctions. And there's a lot more here as well. And we actually have one where it says Bridging the Financial Frontiers of the Traditional Markets with the Blockchain and Crypto Technology Market. And a few players here is DBS Bank, Banking Circle, Ripple, and MasterCard. We know that the future of finance is really kind of being created through this market, and I think that is very, very exciting. There's a lot of other great discussions here on day one, but on day two we also have a little bit of an in-depth view from Vera, which, by the way, this is the Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, and they're actually talking about supporting the UAE's ambition to become a global hub of innovative finance and trade. And you know what's funny about this? Beyond Ripple, we also know that Hedera has actually secured an operating license approval from Dubai's Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority. This was back in September. You need to pay attention to this because these are crucial players in this new world of finance. And we also know that Dubai wants to become a crypto hub, going all the way back to June of this year as well. Literally 1 month before XRP had the big win, we've seen that Dubai was launching a crypto regulatory arm to become a global financial power. They want to become a crypto hub. And this was a trend that we've seen during this entire year and even back in 2022 as well. And this was the year for them to really kind of start embracing their regulatory ambitions and plans to really kind of prepare for what's coming, which is the crypto storm, right? Like everyone wants to be in this market. Everyone wants to innovate within this market as well. And we actually have here how Dubai is becoming a world leading crypto hub. And this is with the DBCC, Circle, Crypto Oasis, and Fuse. Now, again, I think that we are going to start to see a lot of big players really kind of trying to become a crypto hub. One of the biggest ones that we've seen is the UK. They have big ambitions. Also, outside of that, we also have Hong Kong, Singapore. There's a few players stepping up to the plate now. But beyond this, right? Like, as we see the world around us changing in a sense of, who's going to be the first, I look at it as this is such a big opportunity for the retail sector because these countries now are planning. Institutions are planning. And guess what? Retail is still asleep. Like, the ones that are actually in this market right now are going to reap the rewards greatly because those countries and those regulatory bodies that are around these institutions, they're still locking them out. Institutions are barely here. They're not tapped in yet. They're trying to build out their solutions. They're tapping into Ripple, for an example, but they're not yet embracing the digital asset side of things. That's why we're not seeing, huge moves on the utility side of crypto yet. But I do believe that with regulations, with proper regulations, and with the proper infrastructure in place, they will embrace this. And this is why November is such a big month as well. But beyond this, I do want you all to pay attention to some of the players within the space that have connections to some very, very large partnerships. And guess what? Shout out to Tokenizer for this. A lot of people overlook XRP, which is linked to Mohaloop. Now, Mohaloop is a company that has been under the radar. If you haven't really done your research regarding XRP and Ripple, you probably don't even know about Mohaloop. But this is an elite company. Shout out to Utility Theory. We do see Interledger Protocol and XRP, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Mohaloop, CBDC plus last mile payments. I actually think that a lot of this information is hidden, and it's hidden by choice, right? Like they don't want the retail sector to understand this. And this is a rabbit hole that is extremely deep, as he is saying here. Remember the one that I went over probably about 2 months ago now? It was with the UK, with the Bank of England, with Ripple. Yeah, that's a massive rabbit hole. But this one is definitely interesting because a lot of this has already been in place, right? Like this is all plans that have been in place. We do see interoperability solution based on routing by the Interledger protocol. Now today, a lot of people think that this has now been replaced with Quant. I don't necessarily know if that's the case. We know that Interledger protocol can actually tap into Overledger, but this is a network of networks essentially. And it's connecting everything in an interoperable way, making sure that the traditional world can tap into this digital world, if you will. Eliminating fragmentation, but also we have the Interledger protocol schematic payment diagram utilizing XRP Ledger for settlement. And here you guys have the full breakdown. The payment channel at the bottom is the Ripple XRP main ledger. That's the thing that's settling all of these payments and these transactions. And this is all connected through the Interledger protocol. Over on the last page here, or the last 2 pages, is where Mohaloop comes into place. And we do see, what does our solution offer? Interledger can use XRP for settlement. And here you guys have the full breakdown on how this will work. You also have ISO 20022 tied to this with Mohaloop and the Interledger protocol, where XRP is tapped in. And at the last page here, let me open this up in a new tab just so that you guys can see this. Let me zoom in. So here is about Paula Hunter. She is the executive director behind Mohaloop. We can see what her role is, and we can also see even the about section of the Mohaloop Foundation, which is to increase financial inclusion by empowering organizations with interoperable payment systems to enable digital financial services for all. The organization operates as a 501c3 charitable nonprofit, maintaining its free open source software, Mohaloop, and community as public goods in service of financial inclusion. And then down here, we have Wayback Machine. This is like documentation that kind of went under the radar that not a lot of people actually know about. But here we have, and we actually have APIs as well, but here we have Interledger as a technology choice. Mohaloop needed a lightweight, open, and secure transport protocol for funds. Interledger.org provides all that. It also provides the ability to connect to other systems. We also considered blockchain systems, but blockchain systems send very large messages, which will be harder to guarantee delivery of in third world infrastructure. Also, while blockchain systems provide good anonymity, that is not a project goal. To enable fraud detection, regulatory authorities need to be able to request records of transfers by account and person. Now, this is just one little section of this, right? Outside of this, when you actually look at the homepage of Mohaloop, we could see what their goal is here, right? This is leveling the playing field, if you will, or mass adoption as well through mobile phones, banking the unbanked, which was the original goal of Ripple back in like 2017, 2018, roughly. And we actually see learn about Moha Loop for payment solutions companies, hub operators, central banks, financial institutions, development banks, and donors. Now, again, everything is under the radar here. They're not really kind of talking about Ripple or XRP. And at the bottom, you actually see some of the sponsor members and even funders. And here's where you have Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, you have Google, Interledger Foundation, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and then also Ripple. Again, this is one of the companies that I really kind of look at. When you actually look at the partners list, here are the partners list in a little bit of a bigger view. There's some other ones down here, which are the promoter members, but there's really not much there. But beyond this, yes, if we actually go over here to October 18th, Moha Loop Foundation expands team to accelerate go-to-market strategy. This is a company, like I said, that's centered out on banking the unbanked. We're talking about billions of users here around digital assets. This is going to be very interesting if they do achieve this goal. And like I said, this is the original vision of Ripple through the Internet of Value. But here we have at the forefront, right? The Moha Loop Foundation today announced the expansion of its team as part of its commitment to accelerate its go-to-market strategy, in line with the foundation's mission to create a more financially inclusive global economy through Moha Loop enabled digital financial services. The foundation appointed 2 new additions to its talented team as well, and we have them labeled there. Now, they also talk a little bit about how by hiring these 2 individuals, the organization will enhance its go-to-market functions, accelerate growth, and maintain its focus on advocating financial inclusion for all. And we even see these accomplished professionals bring with them a wealth of experience and expertise, which will undoubtedly bolster the foundation's efforts to develop innovative strategies to scale and promote the Moha Loop open source software, which has the potential to advance financial inclusion in emerging economies in Asia and Africa. And these are 2 areas, by the way, that Ripple is heavily centered out on. And again, there's some quotes here. They're talking a little bit about empowering underserved economies with secure, interoperable, and affordable digital financial services. Again, this is really kind of talking a little bit about embracing mass adoption of crypto and blockchain-based solutions. And I do believe that Ripple, like I said, is a crucial piece of this. Also, shout out to Anderson, because he has been putting out some great information regarding Moha Loop and really kind of uncovering some significant details. We do see here September of 2023, he meant 2023, I know it says 2013. Moha Loop is currently in active engagement with 13 national payment systems projects across the continent. Africa is one. Moha Loop uses Interledger protocol for interoperability. Co-develop, invest in Moha Loop. Co-develop are also partnered with the Rockefeller Foundation and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And here we have published on September 27th, 2023. This is the go-to-market strategy. Moha Loop is currently in active engagement with 13 national payment systems projects across the continent. And this is, of course, in Africa. Also, here we have the Rockefeller Foundation is proud to join others in launching Co-Develop and their vision of digital public infrastructure that works for all to promote inclusion, human rights, and progress towards shared global goals. These are literally the elites of the global world, and they are all tapped in with Moha Loop. A lot of people don't know this. And also over here, don't forget that the Monetary Authority of Singapore, Singapore's central bank, is a member of Moha Loop. I could imagine that would help quite a lot when it comes to engagements with other central banks, governments, and financial institutions in Africa. And who just got a payment license from the Monetary Authority of Singapore? Oh yeah, that's right, Ripple. Beyond this, last but not least, we have here, this is from October 21st. And this is posted 1 day ago. Moha Loop reveals that they're involved in a few cross-border payment projects in a post on LinkedIn a day ago. Moha Loop offers an open source platform for developing countries to build financial infrastructure upon. It uses Interledger protocol for interoperability, and it's all tapped in with Ripple and XRP. Moha Loop has also made a couple of hires just recently, showing that Moha Loop is alive and well. And yes, it is. This is not dying. This is a company that's going to be around for a while, in my opinion. They are not slowing down at all. You could read more about this if you want, but they are also right on par with the idea of CBDCs. Like we even see Moha Loop Foundation Center of Excellence for CBDCs, and they even talk a little bit about their plans here. And yes, Ripple is tapped in. We even see the working groups here are formed with members like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Coil, Google, Modus, Box, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, Red Compass Labs, Ripple, and Cybrin. Again, all of this, if you actually look here, like, it's actually insane on what they are talking about with CBDCs, because it's literally everything set out from Ripple's original goals. And we know that Ripple joined Moha Loop back in, I want to say 2017, 2018. And at the last one here, it's definitely interesting. Like, look at some of the text here. So extend ecosystem engagement, leveraging Singapore's proximity and connectivity to the Asia-Pacific region to accelerate the broader adoption of inclusion, affordable domestic and cross-border payment platforms that benefit the underserved and connect them to the emerging digital economy. This is literally what Ripple is doing. And we even see facilitate Moha Loop Foundation COE for CBDCs working group initiatives such as hackathons, workshops, and pilot projects that examine how Moha Loop can leverage CBDCs to reduce the costs and inefficiencies of push payment platforms and cross-border payments and settlement processes. I'm telling you right now, you need to be focused right now on these companies like Moha Loop. These are companies that go under the radar. A lot of people miss out on this information. I got to give a huge shout out to Anderson for this. I got to give a huge shout out to Utility Theory and even Tokenizer for bringing Moha Loop up, because again, a lot of people have stopped talking about Moha Loop, and I really do think it's a big mistake. I think everyone needs to be heavily centered out on what Moha Loop is doing, and also the discussions behind the scenes that they are having and their plans that they have in place. Remember what I've said about Ripple. They are entrenched within the elites, and I keep saying that not because I think that's a bad thing, right? Like, I think that Ripple has already been chosen. I think that they have been selected as well. And again, you know, when we look at the elites, they have won time and time again. And the best way to get around that is also by being a part of it. I keep saying, like, if you can't beat them, join them. If we can invest into XRP, which, by the way, XRP is fully decentralized. Nobody's controlling XRP. But I do think that anyone that really kind of sees what's going on here and can embrace XRP as an investment vehicle, I think that they will reap the rewards greatly. And I've always said this. Like, everyone is so scared of CBDCs. Everybody's so worried about CBDCs. Well, guess what? If CBDCs are going to happen, which it seems like it's inevitable at this point, why not invest in the underlying infrastructure and reap the rewards? A lot of people think that, oh, the money that you make off those digital assets and stuff like that, you know, it's just going to go to waste because they're going to replace it with CBDCs. Even if that's the case, right, we still hold those digital assets, meaning we have crucial pieces of the financial system in our portfolio. That means it gives us leverage in this new world of finance. But again, that's my overall opinion. As we look at Ripple and as we look at XRP and as we look at the world changing around crypto and blockchain, significant things are happening. These events are crucial to tap into and really kind of see some of the information that is released behind the scenes regarding these events. Swell is a big event. If you have been around for a while, you know that these Ripple Swell events are great for information. They dive in deep on a few things that are happening behind the scenes. We're probably going to get a lot of discussions regarding tokenization, regulations, and things like that. I'm very excited for this event. I'm also very excited for November. I think it's a big month for the world of finance. And I also think that the market has been heating up a little bit. So I'm very excited to see what happens over the course of the next couple of months. So with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Peace out.